Oh. Okay, yeah. It says speak now. Alright. Speaking. I guess I'll just go back and then come back. Oh, I did something. Oh no. See, it's just gonna keep going. There's so many recommendations. It's like one of those. No way. See, if I didn't accidentally go further than I intended to, we wouldn't have seen that. So this is 9/11/11, 1 year ago. 9/11/11 with a 50 right in the middle for whatever reason. One in a billion, huh? I'm happy. 135. But are they real? Like who cares? I mean, I would prefer them to be real people, but they're not real people. And some of them are mine, but I really don't think that many are for me. I have played it a lot, though. Fine. I left this there for a while. No, it doesn't even. I don't even know. No way. I had this idea. I might not do it, but I might as well talk about the idea. Because I was watching It's Every Day, Bro, for 10 hours with Mr. Beast. I thought it'd be funny to do like 10 hours of Skibidi Toilet. Episode 1 or whatever, 1 through 4 with a horizontal one. Just one alone would be, I couldn't do. But the first 4 kind of. I finally watched Skibidi for the first time. I guess I could normally, like kind of on principle, it's fun to do more action than reaction. Even reacting to my own stuff. Like, rather just jump and do something totally new than to. Are they blurry? Were they all even clear? Whatever. Jumping to do something new versus. I don't know. I don't want to get the video flagged. Jumping to do something new before versus reacting, acting versus reacting. Nice to be like acting. And also, even for like B-roll and stuff, like if I was just to let any video play in the background, like maybe copyright or something, however ridiculous copyright is in the modern AI age. Oh, okay. That feels better. Shaky mode. I just made this video. I don't know if I'm going to post it. Maybe I will. It's fun. I got to show for this guy. We got to get him into Club 10. We got to get him. He's like 9.55 million subscribers. We got to get him another 500K. Get him up to 10 million subscribers. He's really good. I'm happy. I'm impressed with his channel. I started looking into the results you get when you search 2025 cake crash. I guess I might as well mention it just as an apology, because I made a mistake when I uploaded the watch this video first. I let it auto subtitle me. I did not upload that text file for the subtitles because I didn't just straight read the text on the screen. I did some extra monologuing, and I did not hard sub my monologue, and I definitely did not upload a text file. And I just found out today, I'll probably end up cutting the screen caps in, that on that watch this video first video, it says the subtitle read 2025 cake crash as 2025 kid crash. And I might as well just make that clear, since now I kind of have to address it, because it was my mistake not putting a subtitle file up there, being a bit lazy. But at the same time, like, fucking, I've done the timing. I've done this before on previous channels. Excuse me. I've done this before on previous channels. Those guys are cool. I can't even like hate on the Game Ranks channel. They're fun. Where I figured the time of me freestyle rapping versus the time it takes to re-listen to it and write the lyrics is, I think, like 1 to 4. So the time of, like, if I was just to freestyle rap for 10 minutes, it could, maybe if I really push myself, I could get it down. But it could very well take me like 30 minutes or more, 40 minutes, listening through that 10-minute audio recording of me freestyle rapping, because that's going to be a pretty lyrically dense 10 minutes, even with a lot of breaks in it. Like, I don't know if I've ever non-stop freestyled for 10 minutes. Usually I'll have pauses, but whatever. I don't really do rap anymore, or even music production. Like, this whole album was an accident. I just call it pop music. I don't even know what genre this is, but and I might as well clarify my Facebook statement, since I went and re-updated my Facebook profile and got that tied in with 2025, which might be funneling some of these views. Which, thank you for the views and feedback, everybody, and comments. I do want to do a comment video. I've gotten some comments already, and I want to address those comments and possibly more. By the time I get a comment video out, there could possibly be more comments on this. So anyway, this is my first video after the album. I'm very happy with it. I still stand by I'm doing research into this. I listened to a bit of Michael Jackson, Thriller, 1987. And so I'm also adding context to that post where I said 2025 Cake Crash is the greatest pop album of all time. And I mean, it's already aging. It's already showing its age. I need to finish the B-sides of it. I got some other stuff cooked up, so we'll have like a 2-side 2025 Cake Crash, possibly one day. No estimate on how long that's going to take, you know, because the whole album at first was totally an accident and unplanned. It's not like I was at all. One of my primary focuses in life right now is not focusing on being a music producer or even a YouTuber. Like, not neither the YouTube nor the music production are like my number one focus. It's just kind of a hobby. Like, I like listening to music, and now I've made some music I like to listen to a lot. It's not the only thing I listen to. In fact, the AI music really made me appreciate organic human music as well and view it through a whole new perspective. It's definitely changed my perspective on music in a very positive and educational way, and brought back like childhood memories of playing piano as a little kid and stage in front of a bunch of people. And yeah, and so, like, yeah, what would 135 people in a room look like? That'd be a lot of people, you know. But that's all assuming it's different people and not the same person coming back a whole bunch, you know. But whatever, you know, reasonable. There's some reason, and that's nice. It's nice to see bigger numbers because, you know, you can get more healthy statistics when you get bigger audiences. And, like, so I'm not even promoting this right now. I had an idea of promoting it, but it was, you know, good. It was a good idea. This whole episode of 2025 Kate Crash releasing an album has been very good. So I'm going to keep doing 2025 Kate Crash type stuff. And it's all in line. Like, if you look at the foundational video, I just rewatched it because I know a few people have watched it and I've heard some comments. And, you know, honestly, that first video is like, all of the text to speech voice videos are terrible. And I know that. Like, I know that this format I'm doing right now is also terrible. The cell phone pointed at the screen format. I've done it on other channels as opposed to whatever, using the inbuilt software screen recorder, which you've seen me use. So it's not like I don't have it just like, that's not what's important, you know. It's like that the 80% is good enough rule, you know. I don't even expect people to watch this necessarily, you know, and at least not now, you know. Maybe if someone was really gets into this project, they might find this video interesting, you know. But it's just, I'm just doing housekeeping right now. This is like a housekeeping video to kind of hold the channel over until I can do my next more formal video, you know, But anyway, like, you know, whether I do a 10-hour Skibidi toilet or something else, you know, and that was a prompt. I put all sorts of prompts in here, but Skibidi was one of them. And I'm just really, you know, like I said, I'd talk about the prompts. I said I would wait till people asked me, but I don't, you know, whatever. Like, because this will help you. Beethoven is in there. You know, Despacito is in there. Lots of stuff. You know. That's why I call it a pop album. And back to me clarifying the statement I made on Facebook about it being the greatest pop album of all time, which it still is for now, in my experience, you know, because nobody listens to all the pop albums, and why I like listen to a bit of Thriller in 1987. So, like, yeah, in 1987, Michael Jackson's Thriller was probably, you know, arguably by some people's perspective, maybe the best pop album of all time in 1987, even throughout into the 90s, maybe, you know. It's a really good album. I would say it's lyrically one of the greatest pop albums, you know, because like 2025 Kate Crash is not a lyrical focused album, you know. It's more sound focused, and that's kind of to be expected, especially with freeform AI. When you get AI voices rather than pushing AI lyrics, like if you're feeding AI lyrics and just using it for the musical portion, that's different. That would be a totally different product versus what 2025K crash. And even some of the stuff that I'm working on for the B-sides is like, it actually, I've started like lyrically pressuring AI, which I don't think I ever really, even maybe there was some song title pressure in some of these songs where like putting it to a certain song title. In particular, I'm thinking of Chippin' In, or whatever the hell, the Welcome to the Psy War, the one where I like, through that, I just so you know, that prompt is from Samurai's whatever, Chippin' In 2077 Cyberpunk OST not used song or whatever. The song that was supposed to be in Cyberpunk, but then they decided not to use it. I think whatever, rejected. I forget how they title their video or what prompt and particular nuance exact wording I used to generate that song, because that wasn't the only, that was one of those spaghetti songs, which most of the prompts I used were spaghetti prompts. And when I say spaghetti prompt, I mean like I'm just throwing a whole bunch of genres that would never even possibly fit together at the AI. That's basically what I'm doing. I'm genre bombing it, and also using like artist names, which you're not supposed to, whatever, unethical. And so it's like the AI is even correcting my own prompts in ways that I'm not particularly privy to or paying much attention to when it does show the pop-up fast enough. I think I'm talking about U Audio in particular. And it doesn't even catch all the artist names too. So like some artist names got in, and some of them were like, like Joji, the guy who got me into music production. Like I would have never learned to rap if I didn't like watch Filthy Frank. That's kind of how I learned the fundamentals of rapping, and inspired me to become a very bad rapper, which I hope to one day improve. Not necessarily rapping, but just in content creation. But anyway, like he'll become, Joji gets, poor guy, I think they call it like emo rap and lo-fi and stuff. Like he's a great, Joji's music is amazing. Like that's definitely like content. Wouldn't call Joji pop music. That's why I wouldn't compare this to like Smithereens or Nectar, because like it's not even the same genre. Joji music is, I don't know, whatever Joji, he's an artist. So if he wants to call his music pop music, say Smithereens is the greatest pop album of all time. If you're actually going to compete my music against Joji, of course he's better. I'm not going to I just don't genre Joji as pop, even though he's incredibly popular. The way maybe I don't know. In fact, I want to go back to some of the pop music I listened to as a kid. Stuff like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and Britney Spears, was what was popular, on the radio. Whatever my foundation or life experience of my understanding of what I would call pop music is going to be stuff like that, which I've only recently been able to even appreciate the nuance of, other than just brushing it off of like, oh, wow, yeah, that was a time when NSYNC was playing on the radio. But yeah, so aging myself appropriately. But anyway, yeah, pop music is totally different now than it was back then. But still, and so once again, the reason why I'm not even comparing this Michael Jackson's Thriller was maybe the greatest pop album of all time. And fine, it depends on how you judge music, but on my judgment is and not any one song. There's no one song in 2025K Crash that is that great. They all kind of suck. They all have problems. They all need detail work that I didn't put in because I made this thing in 24 hours. It's every day, bro. It's every day, bro. A song that was made in 24 hours is incredibly technically impressive, incredibly successful, but needs work. And, God willing, I will maybe get to remix Team 10 and Everyday Bro, and kind of bring that up from 2027 to 2020 2017, maybe that'll be a goal. I want to do that before 2027, is to do a healthy remix of It's Everyday Bro, because like I say, one of the reasons I'm inspired to I'm inspired by YouTube content creators, people who are wildly successful, like Mr. Beast, and even someone like Jake Paul or his brother. I don't even, it's sad. Like, I don't even know these people too well. I don't know what I'm even dipping my fingers into. And all like this drama. This recent thing with iDubbbz and H3 and stuff, like these conflicts between these high level influencers of like, ooh, influencer war, whatever. Like I say, I'm interested more in action than reaction. So even doing this housekeeping is like kind of off tilt for what you should be expecting from a 2025 Cake Crash video. Also, hence, like, I'm not putting that much effort into quality. Like, none of this is really frame composition. The real reason I'm even doing this is like kind of, maybe just a reminder that it exists, that I exist, and like as a you can't expect me to continue promoting the album like as I progress through all of the other things on my to-do list, because like I like it, and so this is actually a great barometer for people. Like, I know everyone has unique tastes, so rather than, and I want to take this to the Experience Music Project in Seattle. Whether or not the Space Needle is still standing by the time I get there, I don't care. We'll go into the Hall of Fame with 2025 Cake Crash. This is worthy of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, without a doubt. Like, classic rock was a heavy prompt throughout. You could just as well call this a classic rock album as you could call it a pop album. Like, that's why it is pop music, because of the super strong and powerful influence that the classic rock genre prompt, because I've tried with and without it, and it makes a big difference. So here we are, 26 minutes. Like, I'm giving you like one of the secret spice of AI prompting is like, just throw in a little classic rock in your AI prompt, just those two words, isolated together, however you do your formatting. I often just do features, like featuring classic rock. That's all you have to put into the AI prompt, and it's gonna freaking, it's a beautiful, I don't know, it's almost like they're like filters. And so classic rock is gonna give you a beautiful, like wide, big middle ground noise filter, that's gonna kind of give you your foundations. And then you're gonna, whatever your tastes are for like highs and lows, and the instrumentation and technique, melody and rhythms and stuff, you can input those in, but just to get that, wide, big body, mass appeal sound, just throw the classic rock prompt in, and I think it will do you great favors. I don't even like that shit, honestly, not that much. Like, I respect it because I like respect music production, but like, I don't go around bumping 101 The Fox, guys, listening to like Led Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix. Like, I was into that. I love Pink Floyd. Like, I compared this to Pink Floyd. And I want to do the Wizard of Oz thing too, where they do whatever Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon, and you play the album while watching Wizard of Oz with no noise or something, and then there's all these weird things that line up. And I want to try that with Cake Crash, and see what happens when I play Cake Crash with Wizard of Oz. So maybe someone else can beat me to it, but I want to try that one day. Anyway, me, always full of random fun ideas. Which one's gonna come out next? I don't know. I don't know. I do want to, do a 10-hour video, but I definitely have other stuff I'm working on. And a lot of it, I've fallen back, and I think appropriately so, to a lot of my like pen on paper work and like fundamental drawings. And I have a bunch of notes for video. In fact, I'm gonna just jump into that video right now. So I'm gonna cut this and then do that video, and then maybe actually get out of here and get my DSLR camera. So, all right. To clarify, I mean, the greatest pop album of all time, judged by pop music genre, albums, not individual songs, and in the context of modern viewership, like not what would have been considered the greatest album in 1987, but what in 2025 today is the greatest album. And like I say, it's aging already. Pop music ages like milk usually, and so that's actually a really high compliment to Thriller and Michael Jackson for like having such staying power, you know. As well as many other albums. Like I say, I'm continuing research to, appropriately validate my claims and like up my knowledge of pop music by like listening to more and more albums that have been labeled the greatest pop album of all time to say truly definitively I like this one better, you know. And so maybe I'm a bit biased that I don't like pop music normally. I don't listen to pop. I don't listen to pop radio. But I don't know, and this is almost as much I'm challenging the viewer. Before I cut this video off, if you really watch this far and you like are into 2025 Cake Crash, I do actually have calls to action because this is a collaborative project. My call to action is in the comments of this video. Maybe that's the title. What genre is 2025 Cake Crash? Because that's all what I want to know right now. Because I'm classing it as pop music, but that's just my opinion. And I guess I have already poisoned the data pool by announcing my opinion as the creator, but whatever. If you agree with me or disagree with me, is 2025 Cake Crash pop genre, popular pop music? Or is it a different genre? And if it's a different genre, what is it? Because my second runner, if I was going to give it a second genre, a secondary, it would be reggae. Just because I prompted it, I used reggae heavily. That you can tell by the sound of it. You obviously, there's one of the tracks is like Ja Right. Obviously, it has like some reggae influence, but it also has hyper pop and dubstep and all sorts of other stuff. Like I was saying, Beethoven and whatnot. So that's why I call it pop, because it's blended and all of the influences are like hyper popular stuff like Baby Shark, Despacito, stuff like that is all in there. Skibidi Toilet, which I might be saying a lot and seeing a lot of 10 hours of Skibidi Toilet soon as my next Mr. Beast 10-hour challenge tribute. So we'll see if I can endure. And it's a scientific test of this whole theory of brain rot. People are like, oh, these kids, Skibidi Toilet's not even like 2 years old, right? And so once again, still pretty popular and fresh, And so to like, I've only watched the first one like once. I found that through a typo. You won't believe me. It's not like the algorithm did not show me Skibidi Toilet. None of the people I was watching at the time showed me Skibidi Toilet. It was just one of those times. I don't remember if it was just a typo or I was just randomly, every once in a while. I don't know if you guys do this, but sometimes I type random letters into the search bar just because I'm bored or whatever. You stare at the blank Google page, you type things in. You see what the search recommendations of trending shit, and then you can just type in random letters, like have it search random letters until it gives you 0 results. And so like that's how I came across Skibidi Toilet, more or less. I can't even say if it was just some idle accidental thing. It's like, what the fuck did I just type in? Like, I don't know if it auto-corrected or I just barely like Skibidi and I was like, I probably watched like part of one of the newer ones. When you search it, it always shows you like, because it's ongoing. That's the trip. This Skibidi Toilet thing isn't even over yet. And good job, by the way. Talk about cool people with making cool content. Yeah. Good job, dude. You have to respect success. That guy has millions of views, even if it's garbage content. Like, I was just watching when I was looking through Cake Crash results and I found some rapper with like millions of views and like, I don't know. I wasn't partial to the theme of their music video. It just seemed kind of like, I don't know, aggro, not really my chill vibe, as you can tell. I have a bit of a chill vibe. Everyone's like, oh, look at these recommendations, but that, I'm just house sitting for my friend, I don't even normally like, anyway, it's not this is like a shared default profile that's been logged on. I logged on to my friend's PlayStation. I put this profile on here and it's just been up. Who knows how many people have gone and used this PlayStation with that particular profile. Yeah, like I mean, you know, whatever. It's me. It's, you know, this is my content, and it's garbage. I don't think I might have to edit this video. I probably won't post it all, but I might. You know, I'm lazy and kind of have low standards, and like I value like kind of stream of consciousness, honesty type of content, even if it's like abrasive. I think I was saying that I feel well, I don't even probably didn't word it that way, but like sometimes I'm kind of abrasive, if that's actually a thing, or maybe I just feel that way, you know. And that's like part of this whole thing, is like learning to not be so abrasive. If the content was less abrasive, I'd get more views. It would take off more successfully. I think part of it's promotion, but it's content quality matters. Like, I'm never one to short on that. I'd much rather be over quality and under promoted than vice versa, you know. And like sometimes quality is hard to get at first. Like most people probably fucking hate watch It's Everyday Bro, It's Everyday Bro, It's Everyday Vronut, It's Everyday Vronut Society. Yeah, It's Everyday Vronut Society. Anyway, so there's this song that says Everyday Bro, and a lot of people just hate watch it, you know. And like, I'm not even gonna, you're gonna have to look up what the Spanish lyrics of that song are, because like I watched 8 hours of it without even looking up I haven't watched, I'm gonna go watch the last 2 hours, but I haven't watched all of Mr. Beast's 10 hours video, but I watched 8 hours of it before I looked up what the Spanish lyrics of that song are, and it's amazing. The song is amazing. It's amazing, you know. I'm impressed, you know. They really are, you know. I have to respect people who are talented freestyle rappers, you know, regardless of, like, respect the art, not the artist, you know. I'm not going to judge people, you know. Oh, like that one line where he says, I'm from England, and if it wasn't for Team 10, the US would be shitty, you know. Like, that's like very offensive, you know. But it's like, you know, especially in context, like, we all here should, well, I'm not going to say should, but on this channel, we are operating under the reasonable belief system, or the knowledge, you know. We can call it knowledge. We have knowledge, and it's accessible knowledge. Anyone can also collect this knowledge and cast their own judgments and come with new information to change it. We operate under open systems, but in short, we have knowledge of the existence of a world government. Therefore, because of our knowledge, because we are informed, we have the knowledge of the world government, we can be in a state of epoche and ataraxia, even at a better level, when we're being baited, where otherwise people would be like, oh, how dare you diss America? Or if you're from England, you'd be like, woo, yeah, fuck you, America. England is so cool. They're representing England. And then the other, represent España, you know. So yeah, represent where you're from, you know, whatever. You know, like the one rap video that I couldn't really stomach, you know. It was like, I saw the first few minutes, you know. Like right now I have it on mute, but I had the TV a little bit loud, and so like the thumbnail autoplay, I like listened to the whole, more or less her whole thumbnail autoplay, and like I couldn't bring myself to click it. I clicked on another one, which is actually, anyway, but yeah, fucking YouTube, the AI algorithm. And that was deserved. You Google and your 42.5 flops, exaflops, 42.5 exaflops, just to give people 9/11 jokes in their recommendations. So I think I'm satisfied that I've well addressed my comment, you know, in furtherance of my Facebook comment about 2025 Cake Crash being the best pop album of all time. I've even come up with a name for this long rant video. This will be, what genre is 2025 Cake Crash? And am I pronouncing genre or genre? Let's do it. Let's look it up. Hold on. here. I'll just put it in afterwards. How to pronounce genre. All right, guys, leave a comment, like, subscribe. If you want to, if you don't want to, then whatever. Thanks for the watch time anyway. If you just want to download my video and not give me any watch time, or somehow subvert YouTube's watch time policy or systems, that's fine too. Feel free to download 2025 K Crash if you want to and put it on your device. That way you can have it without the internet. If you enjoyed it or whatever. I might make it into a physical thing one day. I don't know yet. We have options, but we want to know what genre to class it as first. So we need to figure out what genre this is, then we can consider anything further. We don't even know yet. We just have one person's opinion, you know, who's massively biased as the creator. And so we can do a lot of research. We can find people who haven't heard it and play it for them and then ask them what the genre is without telling them anything about it being AI or anything about like me or any of that shit. We can just have the raw album experience as itself, you know, the art, not the artist. You know, what, if any, you know, value does this have, you know, philosophically or otherwise, you know? Like, can we justify entertainment? You know, I'm certainly, you know, probably someone who errs on the side of like overstimulation and overindulgence, but like, you know, a certain amount of, you know, relaxation is part of health and well-being, you know, entertainment and happiness. You know, happy people have been shown to live longer, so low stress and happiness are important to like not dying and not suffering. So music and entertainment isn't like a bad thing necessarily. You know, even something like It's Everyday Bro is not that bad. Like, sure, you can criticize It's Everyday Bro, you can criticize 2025 K Crash, you know, whatever. But I mean, you know, it's all just the march of progress. And, you know, if I could end with a quote from that one "Don't Touch My Pizza" song, which is great, and the video is great too. Don't touch my pizza. So I don't know where I'm going, but I know I'm going far. So that's great. That line is beautiful because it's just like it encapsulates the 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 complexities of life in a very short line. I don't know where I'm going, but I know I'm going far. And so yeah, I don't know where I'm going. 100%. I have a plan. I have a big plan. Many years, decades. Big plan. Beautiful things I could possibly do if I succeed, you know, and fun, good stuff. And so if I can, you know, at least, and so like this is just a happy accident along the way of the 2025 K Crash plan and philosophy. And I'm happy with it. I hope other people are, you know. Anyway, what genre do you think it is? And we'll talk in the next video.
Genre.